So for the last 6 months, we've been touring the London startup ecosystem, interviewing different people, visiting the offices of many influential startups to understand what it is like to build a business here. London is known as Europe's #1 startup capital, but it has its own set of challenges. It can be very competitive, not just in terms of real estate, but also in terms of talent. Now you'll see different excerpts from different perspectives. I hope that's useful to you.
London, for all of its kind of comments and questions about why people are based in London as startups, because it's very expensive to have a base in London. It is the centre of everything. So we have over 100 clients in the UK, and over 80% of those have got some kind of base in London. So it makes a lot of sense for us to be, from a commercial perspective, to be very close to those clients. From a client perspective, very, very useful to be able to have that kind of close proximity with the majority of your client base.
So the best is just the ability to, get on a train, get on a bicycle and go and sit with our users in kind of 10, 15 minutes. On the other side, it does add a lot of competition. You're competing for the same marketing spend, you're competing for the same, for us, user acquisition. And we are just focused our platform on London-based roles and London-based companies. There's trade-offs associated with it, but I think, it's a fantastic place to try and build a company.
It's an amazing hub for tech companies at the moment, and I would actually say one of the biggest benefits is the network that's out there for startups, which is incredibly welcoming. So we go to a lot of meetups, hugely experienced people are giving us advice all the time, and people are so welcoming about it. You send anyone a LinkedIn message, anyone an email, nearly everyone always goes for a coffee. We started primarily in London was our focus, and making sure that our London market worked. And we've got to a point now where I think we are doing that. We have a lot of, we think we have a good number of the best traders available. We're working with a lot of events and event organisers in London to kind of bring our service to them. We've done that, I think, quite well, and now we are looking to sort of move out from that. There's so many fantastic people. There's such a brilliant pool of employees who are living in London all the time, potential employees living in London, and people love it as a city, and there's always so much going on in terms of the social perspective, in terms of food events, in terms of general events. So I personally couldn't see our company could be anywhere else at the moment, I would say. Although the problem with it, of course, is there are so many brilliant startups that the competition for roles can always be very, very high. And when you're speaking, it's a bit like the London housing market, which is that when you see something you really like, you've got to snap it up.
For all the virtues it has, London's networks can feel as closed and protective systems from time to time. As an individual, London will welcome you with open arms. It is very diverse, and it is very open to working with people with different sets of experiences and backgrounds. As a business, however, the story can be quite different. Credibility, security, stability, these are the key words people rate businesses upon. So it might take time to get established here in this very, very competitive ecosystem.
I totally love London. There's an endless amount of, both personally things to get around. I've spent enough time in, New York, LA, San Francisco. New York's just too frenetic. LA, you'll spend all your time on the highway. It's a disaster. San Francisco is a bit closed and insular. I love the fact that London has a huge population. In terms of our customers who are startups, it's a brilliant hub.
London is fantastic. Love it. I'm a Londoner. But there's other stuff out there. Really talented people that have got great ideas.
The access to capital, the access to talent, there's a real buzz around this city, and there's a really great startup community that in the last 2 years we've really tapped into, both on the other founders going through similar problems or going through similar investors. but also on the investor side as well, and the corporate partner side. There's just so many people that want to get involved with London startups. It's just the perfect place to be. I guess on the negative side, because there is so much going on here, there is a lot of competition for good talent. We've got Google, Apple, there's loads of really fantastic companies in this city, and we have to compete against those guys to get the best talent into this little office here to work on Charged Up.
I've always built businesses in London. I think actually the city is fantastic for it. I think we're a critical mass of talent. I think we're well connected. I think also there are certain sectors that the UK just seems to do better. We have this concept of the NHS, which is relatively unique in terms of global healthcare, and that means that healthcare as a concept is something that we can get behind as a country. And London, of course, is very well placed with some brilliant universities and teaching hospitals around it. So actually, this is probably the best place to be in the world to take on a healthcare challenge.
There are more technical experts in our specific fields here. There are more people who know about the specific sectors and the specific problems in London than there are in some countries. Yeah. We can get access here to skills, capabilities, resources that are that would be unimaginable anywhere else. It's an exciting, infinitely deep pool with all the power of a global cluster.
Well, I think a real positive is talent, right? That you can really, like, for a business like us, we're solving a bloody hard problem. This isn't easy to go after, and we need lots of different people and different skill sets to come together into this place and go after it. And I think I've found that being in London, I really feel that we've really been able to build a world-class team. Not just a team that's fit for the UK, but a team that could go toe-to-toe with anyone and go after that. So I'd say, look, a big plus in London's box is that I think it's just a hotbed for interesting people and type A players that really want to succeed and challenge themselves, come to this city, and that's fantastic. So I think in that sense it's great. Also from an investor side, I think if you need capital into your business, I think London's a big financial place. It's a great place to raise capital. I think there's always a cost piece. It can be expensive to do business in London. We're in an office in City Road near Old Street, and all of those pieces you have to, you might burn a bit more money maybe on your way to doing it, but I think it's, you can still be disciplined and you can still make it work. So I think on balance, I think London's a great place to build a company.
The key takeaway here is that London has so much going for it. In terms of availability of funding, availability of talent, even the time zone, it is a great hub for building an international base of operations. But on the other hand, this competitive nature can be quite daunting on businesses, entrepreneurs and individuals. Whether it is the right place for you to build a startup or build a business will entirely depend upon you. Hope this was useful to you. See you in the next one.